Boo, boo, boo. Hello, WM Siegel here. Here today to talk about trains. I love trains. Model trains, regular old real life trains. Um, I think that trains are like the moving furniture of society. and I just think they're amazing. They're just so neat. Uh, but model trains, mostly what I'm going to talk about here. So I grew up, had some model trains. I was always HO scale, which is probably the most recognizable size. Here's a nice little caboose. HO. I like that size. It's um, affordable, easy to work with, small enough that it's just really neat to look at, and big enough that you can see it. And it won't take, if you have kids and you're going to get them a set, it's not going to take up a lot of space. You can have a circle, not that big at all. Um, what I've done this second go around with model trains, I had them as a kid, then none, and then 3 years ago, I just, one winter online, I just ordered this train set, a basic one, and it was Bachmann, which is a common one. Big famous one you'd probably hear about growing up is Lionel, and then there was also Bachmann. There's a lot of different ones. There's tons. I'll put some in the description. But I'd say Bachmann is good good to start with for anyone. And then also, if you grow to love that particular set, it's as good as any other. You can always spend more money on anything. But one thing I was really doing differently this time was I wanted to, instead of recreate a world, a town or something like that, I just went at it. I wanted to create my own things. I had already been playing with various types of air dry clay and things like that, and was making small, kind of surreal sculptures to help me visualize for a children's story I've been trying to write. So I'm going to show you some of these creations. One is a tunnel. So this is a tunnel that my little train fits through. And it was nice to have that parameter to have to work around. It was like, okay, it has to follow this arch, this angle, has to be this height. It's good to have parameters within your kind of wild creativity because it forces you to think about things. Here's a tunnel I made. You can see the stones, a little heart. This is the moosh schlug. He's a slug with mushrooms that grow out of him. Got little hearts on his eyes. These trees and this here. You can get these from, those were from like landscape design suppliers, so for architects and things like that. But you can buy these sheets, they're not too expensive, of like 120 yellow flowers or something like that. Another thing I made was this arch that the train goes under. It's a little old light bulb I had, painted a rainbow on it, put some stars on the inside. And it's just fun watching it because the train can go through this little imaginary world that you can make for yourself. This other one, this is great. This is a rainbow arch with a face, some plants growing off of it, a little heart on the keystone. Yeah. The heart is the keystone holding the arch together. The rainbow, I love rainbows, symbol of hope. I mean, and so many other things, all wonderful. Hope and equality for all of us and all those things. So those are some of the landscape stuff that I was making. I apologize that my set isn't set up right now. I'll make a video once everything's set up. It goes dormant once a year, and then I take it out. Another wonderful thing is cabooses. I love cabooses. I have a small caboose collection. These are two kind of standard cabooses. Um, you know what a caboose is, the one that goes in the back of the train. I always liked them. When I was a kid, I remember a cartoon called the Get Along Gang, and they all lived in a caboose, and I was like, that is the life. I wanted to live in a caboose so bad. Um, but so I like cabooses so much. I said to myself, why can't I make a caboose engine, right? But where am I going to get the engine? And that's when I started looking around. There's a great Japanese model train company, just amazing. If I could afford it, everything would be that. But yeah, but it's called Kato, Kato, and they make beautiful stuff. It'll be like the the equivalent of whatever the B elevated train in uh, Tokyo, or the Kyoto commuter rail, and it looks just like it. You go online and you watch it, it's like, wow, it's really neat. And the way, and their history with trains really goes concurrently with ours. It's interesting to look at what other countries were doing with trains, because everything's always going to look a little different. Um, you know, it's just really interesting. Japanese culture is amazing, and the ingenuity that they put into uh, national projects like uh, rolling out a bunch of railway, to industrialize their nation. Um, so from Cato, I was able to locate these guys, and these are little engines. So if you and these were they're replacement engines for a commuter trolley within I forget the city in Japan. So this on the track will run on its own. But if you think about it, it's kind of like it's just like a blank palette, right? And so I took one of my cabooses apart, put some Velcro, and it's like you have. Oh, and on this caboose, you might be able to see I put blue paper on the inside so that the windows were blue. And I just put this little flag. You could do weird little stuff like that. But so I snap this on here, and it stays on, no problem. It's Velcroed on, This thing weighs nothing. And so now my caboose can just go on its own. It's amazing. I love it. Um, so you can make skins, right? Uh, Here's another one. This one's crazy. I made this one, and that it slides right on top of one of those engines. You can see the smoke coming out here. I put some grass on top and some flowers. It's got some wings made out of caboose shells. A shell front. I went a little wild with this one. But and then another one. This was my first kabujin. It's way too tall. But I think it's got a nice simple look. Made it with bamboo. I put a little, I had some aluminum piping, put a little smokestack on there. But this thing rides so high, it doesn't even fit through the tunnel. I wasn't being a very good engineer. um, so yeah, there's different parts, pieces. You could take things apart, put them onto other things. It's not just the car you buy. You can buy tons of used ones too. All my cabooses are used, and it's so cheap, But find one that's like, I'm selling 15 old cars, for real cheap, and you'll get them, and they'll come in nice. Typically they'll still have the original box, right? And it's a great box. And when you're not using your trains, you store them, put them right back in. It's such a great hobby like that, where you can put it away. A lot of people see it as something that is just, well, now it's there. I mean, you can be meticulous about it. Now, if you're going to get to a place where you have a whole corner of a room and it's a table, I mean, I would love to have that. But I went to a restaurant once in New Hampshire. I'm not going to remember the name. I have a name in my head, but I know it's not the right one, so I don't want to say the wrong one. But it had a model train going around the ceiling, like all the edges of the walls. It was so cool. Sitting there eating pancakes. Train going around. Um, Another neat thing in New Hampshire, when I find this, I'll put it in the description. It's a transportation museum and it has tons of old railway cars on tracks, like in the woods. It's so neat. I love it. Um, Someday I'll own, well, I know I won't, but all through my 30s, I said, someday I'll own my own caboose and put it on my land. Well, I'm in my 40s, I don't have land, and I cannot afford a caboose. But I do have a caboodin, and that's good. uh, so yeah, I don't know. Trains are fun, and you can do them any way you want. It does. It's you look at something like train sets, and you look online. Things seem kind of strict. People are very particular about things. Um, but if you like miniature stuff, and I think we all do, and um, you like creating a little world, you can do that with your train set, and it won't. You're not restricted by reality with these things. I mean, I've made some crazy caboodins going through Mooshloog tunnels. Um, you can do a lot with your train set. You can make it crazy, but you're just gonna have to remember. Okay, it's got to follow this angle, this degree perfectly. It's got to be this height. So actually, for kids, it's a good hobby. If I had a kid and it was summertime, maybe they were like 7, I'd say let's jump into this, but we're gonna do it from scratch. We're gonna do it analog. We're making caboodins. We're making our own tunnels, and it'd be fun. And you can throw your ideas at the wall and see what sticks. But then you have these parameters of it has to fit here. It has to be this angle. Get a little math going. That's the best way to learn is through hobbying and things like that. Um, so next stop, next video. See you guys.